What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most requested reviews analysis, so stick around. You don't want to miss this. But before we get into that, if you're considering a purchase, don't miss out on this incredible discount available right now. Check the description below and the pinned first comment. Now, let's not delay any further and jump right into the details.
Now, let's hear directly from our first reviewer about their experience.
This reviewer, a first-time electric bike owner, chose this particular folding bike primarily for its manageable weight and portability, hoping for something that could easily fit into a car trunk. The initial unboxing and assembly process went relatively smoothly. While the bike was well packaged to prevent damage, our reviewer noted that adjusting the front disc brakes required some unexpected fiddling not mentioned in the instructions. Once assembled, the first impressions were largely positive. The bike felt more substantial than its wheel size might suggest, and a pleasant surprise was the upgraded color display, which remained readable even in bright sunlight. On the road, the ride was surprisingly comfortable on paved surfaces, despite the lack of front suspension, thanks to a spring-supported seat. The pedal assist felt potent even on its lowest settings, providing a significant boost, and a neat safety feature was the brake light that activates independently of the main headlight. In terms of real-world use, this client found that even with a single gear, they could comfortably pedal without assistance up to a decent speed. Using the pedal assist strategically for hills allowed for a good workout without overexertion, suggesting the battery can last for a good distance with conservative use. However, the folding mechanism proved to have a learning curve. Despite the bike's light weight, collapsing it is a bit awkward and could benefit from a lock to hold it in its folded state. The most significant drawback, however, lies in a frustrating and seemingly unfixable flaw. The wheel size is incorrectly calibrated in the bike's internal computer, causing the speedometer and odometer to be inaccurate. Unlike older versions where this could be adjusted, the setting is now locked by the manufacturer. Attempts to resolve this with customer service were met with unconvincing explanations and a frustrating lack of a real solution, souring an otherwise very positive.
All right, let's find out what our next reviewer has to share.
This reviewer, who has been working with bicycles since the late 60s, was generally very impressed with this electric bike. Citing a long history in the industry, our reviewer felt that the build quality, components, and overall design showed a lot of thought and offered great value. While it might be tempting to assemble this ride quickly right out of the box, this client strongly advises taking the time for a more diligent and thoughtful setup before hitting public streets, emphasizing that checking everything is crucial for safety. During their own assembly process, they encountered several issues that required an experienced hand. For instance, the headset bearings were found to be excessively tight, and the front brake disc was dragging badly due to poor caliper alignment, both critical safety items that a novice might want a professional to look at. Other components needed some finessing as well. The seat clamp was misassembled from the factory and had to be straightened, and a mounting bolt for the fender proved to be too short and needed replacing. Our reviewer also noted that many bolts and threads, especially on the pedals, were dry and benefited greatly from being properly lubricated. It's worth noting a few minor imperfections, such as a charging port cover that didn't quite fit due to some lumpy welding nearby. They also had to carefully reposition the handlebar components to their preference, which were so over-tightened that a bolt head was stripped during adjustment. Finally, this client highly recommends adding a flat sealant to the tires for better durability and peace of mind on the road, suggesting it's an easy and worthwhile upgrade. Despite these fixable quirks that come with setting up any new machine, the overall impression remains overwhelmingly positive about its performance and construction.
Cool, let's uncover what our next reviewer has to say.
This reviewer immediately noted the excellent packaging upon receiving this folding electric bike, stating it was as good as any they'd encountered, a sentiment carrying weight given their extensive background in the bicycle industry. Assembly proved mostly straightforward, though not without a few quirks. Our reviewer mentioned the manual could benefit from improvement, particularly regarding its illustrations, which were often less than helpful. Some specific areas required attention. The front fender, for instance, was significantly misaligned, and despite several attempts to straighten it, it remained skewed, though thankfully it didn't rub. A crucial piece of advice offered by this client is to apply a small amount of grease to the C-tube, handlebar tube, and pedals before installation to prevent rust and seizing. The front light and fender mount also presented a slight issue. The bolt wasn't quite long enough for the rear washer, but our reviewer found that ensuring the nut was tightened securely from the back, rather than using the front Allen wrench, provided sufficient hold. While the light was slightly off-kilter, its wide spray pattern made the minor misalignment negligible. Another adjustment needed was the handlebar alignment relative to the front wheel. This was corrected by slightly loosening two specific Allen bolts near the bottom of the front fork, sighting the bars from a seated position to ensure they were true, and then snugging the bolts back down. Our reviewer also had to adjust the front disc brake, which was dragging. This involved a multi-step process. First, adjusting the thumb wheel and adjuster at the brake lever on the handlebars, then if needed, making a similar adjustment directly at the brake caliper, and finally, subtly loosening the cable itself if tension was still an issue. Further setup tips included ensuring the hand clamps for the seat post and handlebar remained tight by properly adjusting the thumb screw on the opposite C.
And that's a wrap. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've got thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.